Good morning, guys. We're back. Another day, another dollar. Today we're working on the boss's BMW, but we do not have a socket for the oil filter cap. So we're going to try something we found on YouTube. Let's see if it works. Didn't get to tapping. Easy, player. Easy.
Don't send this one to the boss.
I think that should be good, no?
Yeah.
Tap, 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 tap. There it is.
Ah, la madre.
That was quick and easy.
For real.
Very nice. Well, I guess that's how you do it when you ain't got the proper socket, guys. So yeah, we got our Oil Tech, Lube Tech Gironi. About to do an oil change on the BMW. And I guess we're gonna work on that Kenworth. Tighten up an aux sensor and run a regen. Then eventually we'll come and fix this one. We have that gearbox I told you guys about. Gearbox is already off. We're just waiting for the replacement one and back in order. And for that gray one that we did this darker gray one that we did the heater core. This is the heater core we took off of it yesterday. It's all beat up because we were throwing it around, but that's what it looked like. So this is all gunky and I guess oxidized or rusted inside. The coolant wasn't circulating, so it was clogged up. You kind of tell the bottom one is the messed up one. So we'll go ahead and replace that once the replacement comes. For now, let's see what's going on with this can. They said they just need to tighten that knock sensor. And then we're gonna run a regen. Alrighty guys, so we did go ahead and tighten that sensor up with the 7/8 wrench. Zip tied the harness. And we went ahead and mounted the little computer on the knock sensor. Now we will be going to go run a regen and see if it worked. Meanwhile, we have the assistant over here assisting the BMW. What are you doing down there, buddy? Please let us know. Yeah, I knew it. So yeah, draining the oil.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Productive day. All right, Mr. BMW Tech, what are we doing now? Or what do you have to do or what after you do your oil change?
You have to go here in the computer system and click on the
Does it work?
Does it?
Technical difficulties?
Okay,
All right, here we go.
let me see where you put it. Someone watch a video, so no too.
Wouldn't it be vehicle status?
Vehicle status. Maybe. Right there. Start oil pressure. Measurement. How do you click start?
There you go.
Start measurement. Oh wait. Measurement only possible while engines are. Oh, it has to be at the temperature. So that means it has to be high.
So it has to be at the proper engine temperature so you could do that. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, so after it gets to temperature, you just press start, right? Mm-hmm. Leave it in park and press start and it starts measuring your oil. The engine sounds a little weird, but
I know.
It's a German car.
It's like sucking. It sounds like it's sucking it.
It's circulating it, I think. Probably the pump, the oil pump.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the key?
That's crazy. I don't feel like putting my hand in the seat.
You want to use a flashlight? Check. Here.
Show me a flashlight. Oh no, I don't have it. So
It's on my way. Chingate.
It's crazy, man.
And there it is, guys. That's how you check the oil and you reset the oil life on a BMW. That's gonna be it for this car. The truck, the gray one, fortunately I didn't show much. Wasn't able to run the regen. The customer had to take it, but it's gone. Knock sensor works, so truck is gone. We're just waiting for parts on that one and parts on that one. So that'll be soon. All right, guys, so we just got the rebuilt one. This is it. The only issue is when I removed the old one, I did mark exactly where everything went. As you can tell, I have markings on the pitman arm. And unfortunately, this one's gonna be, well, it won't be clocked the right way. So it's gonna be a little bit more struggle to clock it, but not impossible. These markings, as you can tell, they do go lined up on the pitman arm as well. Let's see if we can zoom in. Yeah, you could actually see it a little bit. There's a marking on the side right there. So that's not an issue. And the top only goes one way because it has a bolt. You could be off a tooth or two, but we will fix that as we go. So let me go ahead and mount this back on. It's really heavy, so I won't be able to record. It has one bolt there, and one bolt there. You can tell by the wear, that's one of them, that's the other, and that's the other. And then on the top, it does have the reservoir bracket mounted onto it. So let me go ahead and mount this up real quick, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alrighty, so gearbox is on. As you can tell, we only fastened, well, we haven't even fastened it all the way. We put one of the bolts on the bottom with the nut on the back, and on this side I did the same thing, one of them. This one's a little bit harder to get into, so I'll do that one right now, and then hold everything down and hit it with the impact so we could fasten it down. But not the hardest thing in the world. It is heavy, and you do have to use a little strength to get it up. Put the bolts in, line it up, and at least put one of them, which I always start with this one. This one's the easier one. I line it up, put it through, have the nut ready just to go through the top and go through the top of the inside of the frame and just bolt it down. Like I said, there are some that are easier to do, but this is the style we have today. The newer trucks, I believe, are a little bit easier just because you're able to get the fasteners a little easier. But let me go ahead and put the other bolt on, tighten these up, and then continue with the reservoir. As you can tell, that's where the bracket mounts. Those two bolt or holes line up with these two holes. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so real quick, this is what we use to install the gearbox back on. As you can tell, we are completely on. We use these channel locks adjustable wrench on the inside of the frame to hold the nut, and I did use my impact, my 1/2 inch impact with a 34 mil socket, and it's on. Now all we have to do is install the fittings for the lines on the power steering, install the bracket for the reservoir, put all the lines back on, and then start installing our pitman arm and our steering column shaft, whatever you want to call that. So, or whatever it's called, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but the proper name, I don't remember it. But let me go ahead and start putting stuff back on so you can get an idea of how it goes. We also did remove this bolt from this these fuel lines to get more space and wiggle room. So I'll install that as well. All right, guys, so here it is. We have the reservoir back on. We have this line back on. The fittings are on it, both fittings. We have the power steering pump line, and then we do have it back on. I have to put the steering column and the pitman arm back on. So what we will be doing is jacking it up from the center, so both tires are in the air, straightening out the tires, lining this little indentation with that indentation, and then we will align the steering column as well with the top. So one way I'm thinking we could be able to do it is just crank it all the way over. Well, line up the tires to the pitman arm to this. Once they're in the air, that way we could move it all the way over and see if it does rotate evenly. And once it rotates evenly, line them up again and put this arm onto here, fasten it onto there. So let me go ahead and get started on that, and I will show you guys possibly how I do it. All right, let's see where the flat spot is at to match this little flat spot right there. All right, guys, sorry about not updating you guys. So that blue truck, we ended up doing the gearbox on it, everything. It was a struggle, but we finally got it right. Then we were kind of in a hurry. The driver was already there. He was waiting for a while, so I was just trying to hurry it up, finish the job, so I couldn't record anything. The gray, well, you guys saw the gray truck that was out already. The BMW, we finished it today. The blue truck was out on the road already by the time we left the shop. As you can tell, we're back out in FedEx. Then the other gray truck with the heater core, we haven't even gotten the part yet, so we're gonna work on that one as soon as we get the part. Right here in Chino, what we are doing is installing back the DPF filters that we took off the other day. We already installed them. As you can tell, I forgot to record how they were when they were cleaned out, how they came back to us. So I'm already bolting everything down, making sure everything's tight, securing everything, and then we're running a regen on this one. Sorry for not updating you guys, but we got kind of a little rush, so it's been kind of a hectic day. So I'm going to just finish these up, tighten them up. Like I said, it's a 15 and a 13. This is how I place them. The cover goes over and protects it perfectly fine. Those, I place them facing up. So yeah, let me go ahead and finish this up, run the regen. After this, when we get home, we do have that truck to continue, and I have a new toy to help me out with the brakes on that truck. So can't wait to show you guys that. So if you've been staying this far, give it a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. Comment, and let me know if you guys like these kind of videos. All right, guys, so as you can tell, we are hooked up to the truck. We have it on running, but we are on D-rate mode. So we'll try to do the regen right now and then see if it fixes the issues. So hopefully it fixes them. We're gonna let it run a little bit just to let it build up temperature to get within specs, and then we will go ahead and run it. Give it about 10 minutes, and that should be enough time for it to warm up. Then we'll run the regen, see if it helps. If not, it's going to be a couple of sensors that we need to replace on it. So we'll be right back. So here it is, guys. Step is back on, compliments of the chef. And then we put the shield back on. Everything's buttoned up, zip tied the lines or the harnesses so nothing gets burnt. Then we actually put this back on the dozer. We put the little gasket, cleaned it up. So yeah, let's run the regen. All right, guys, so it might be a little loud, but I don't know if I have shown you guys this before today. The issue was that our DOC outlet temperature was going over 1,000. It was hitting 1,300. It was way out of spec. The reason being is the filters were really clogged up. Well, at least today, that was our reason, that they were really clogged up. We went ahead, cleaned them up, cleaned up the sensors again. We fixed that dozer, cleaned up the dozer and replaced the gasket, and apparently that's all it needed. Now the numbers are within spec. We are barely about 6 minutes into it, but numbers look normal now. The D-rate and that other red light have come off already within 6 minutes, so we're off to a good start, guys. We'll check back in about 30 minutes. Alrighty, guys, we are about 30 minutes in. Temperatures are good. My boy Big chillin'. Temperatures are good. We were at 9 fault codes. We are down to 5. We're still good over here, so the regen should be done in about 15 to 20 minutes.